Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. Downtown Chicago was bustling that Saturday afternoon. Shop windows glittered in the autumn sunshine, families strolled by, and shopkeepers bustled about behind their counters. Jason Reynolds, a decorated and respected Navy SEAL, walked calmly through the mall. Despite his composed demeanor, his mind remained alert, a reflex honed after years of dangerous overseas deployments. In his hands, he held a carefully wrapped package, a birthday present for his sister. As he walked toward the exit, he felt a heavy gaze upon him. Sergeant Daniel Harper, a white police officer known for his racism and volatile temper, had settled upon him. Harper had no idea that the man he was eyeing with contempt was not just an ordinary citizen. "Hey! You, stop!" Harper yelled as he pushed through the crowd towards Jason. Jason looked up calmly, assessing the situation. He knew that any misstep could escalate. Harper was known to provoke black men in public, just to assert his superiority. "What are you doing here? Do you think this is a place for you?" Harper continued, his voice full of disdain. Jason took a deep breath, remaining calm. "I'm just doing my shopping, like everyone else." Harper wasn't satisfied with that answer. He leaned towards him, trying to grab his arm. But Jason, thanks to his military training, dodged smoothly, without provoking an altercation. Around them, passers-by began filming the scene, some shocked, others intrigued. The public humiliation was total for Jason, but he showed nothing. He knew that the situation was not just a personal affront, it was a test of patience, discipline, and self-control. Then came the decisive moment. Jason slowly opened his wallet and revealed his military badge. "Sergeant Harper, I am Captain Jason Reynolds, Navy SEAL." Harper's face changed instantly. Contempt gave way to astonishment and fear. He had never imagined that the man he was harassing was a decorated hero, a veteran whose courage had saved lives around the world. Jason looked straight into Harper's eyes, calm but firm. "Respect isn't asked for. It's earned. And today, you've just learned a lesson you'll never forget." Around them, phones continued to film. What had begun as a trivial racist incident would soon become a viral event, a public lesson in respect, humility, and dignity. The crowd around them began to gather, drawn by the strange scene, a white police officer shouting at a black man, who remained motionless and calm despite the provocations. Jason Reynolds, despite his imposing stature and military background, didn't move a muscle. But inside, every fiber of his being was tense, ready to react if the situation escalated. "You think you can walk around here like nothing happened?" yelled Sergeant Daniel Harper, his face red with anger. Jason raised his hands slightly, a gesture of non-aggression, and replied in a calm but firm voice, "I haven't done anything wrong. Just let me pass." Frustrated by the lack of reaction, Harper took another step, his tone becoming more threatening. "I can get you out of here right now. You have no business being in this neighborhood." Passers-by were filming, some were whispering, others were expressing their indignation in hushed voices. Jason knew that every move would be scrutinized. He didn't just want to defend himself, he wanted the truth to come out without him having to lift a finger. Then Harper tried to grab his arm. A military reflex. Jason fluidly dodged, taking a small step to the side. His body control impressed the onlookers. He wasn't responding with force, but with control. The murmurs in the crowd turned into admiring comments. "He's calm, he looks so strong." Jason then decided to turn the situation around. Slowly, he took out his wallet and revealed his military badge, engraved and sparkling under the mall lights. "Sergeant Harper, I am Captain Jason Reynolds, Navy SEAL." Harper paled. His eyes widened. Anger gave way to embarrassment. He had just publicly humiliated a man whose exploits had been celebrated throughout the country. Jason, motionless and silent, let the weight of the truth sink in. The crowd continued filming, capturing every expression, every reaction. Harper, humiliated and unable to reply, began to back away, desperately searching for a way out. At that precise moment, Jason knew the lesson was about to begin. It wasn't about revenge, but about showing that true courage and respect are not measured by authority or fear, but by dignity and self-control. After the public humiliation, Harper took a step back, his face red with a mixture of anger and shame. The crowd murmured, some applauded, others filmed even more intensely. Jason Reynolds remained motionless, his gaze steady, weighing each word. He knew this moment could change Harper's attitude, or push him to the worst mistake of his life. "Sergeant Harper," Jason began in a calm voice that echoed throughout the mall. "You seem to think you hold the power here. But true power doesn't come from a uniform or a weapon. It comes from your ability to respect others, even when you believe you are right." Harper stammered, searching for an answer, but no words came out. Reality crushed him. He had harassed a decorated hero, a Navy SEAL who had risked his life for his country and for strangers. He was now the target of public judgment, captured on dozens of phones. Jason continued, without raising his voice, but each word carried weight. "I saw men fall around me, I saw war and fear, and I learned one thing: honor, courage, and respect cannot be bought. You can choose to treat people with dignity, or to humiliate yourself. Today, you chose the latter." The crowd held its breath. Some people were whispering, "He's right." Or, "Look at that composure." Jason wasn't seeking applause, but he wanted the lesson to be clear, not only for Harper, but for anyone who might one day act like him. Harper, unable to find a reply, looked away. He felt the weight of shame and responsibility. For the first time, he understood that his prejudices had not only dishonored him in front of a respectable man, but also in front of the entire community around him. Jason took a step back, offering Harper the chance to leave the stage with a modicum of dignity. "You can learn from this mistake, Sergeant, or continue down this destructive path. The choice is now in your hands." Harper nodded slowly, his throat tight. He knew this moment would haunt him for the rest of his life. The crowd, silent but respectful, began to disperse, but videos of the incident would soon go viral. Harper's public humiliation was transforming into a national lesson about respect, courage, and equality. Jason, for his part, calmly resumed his business, his mission accomplished without violence. He had shown that true strength lies in self-control and dignity, even in the face of ignorance and hatred. In the days that followed, the incident at the mall went viral. Videos circulated on social media, showing Harper being humiliated by Jason Reynolds. Comments poured in, some condemned the police officer's racist behavior, while others praised Jason's composure and courage. Harper, in his office at the police station, couldn't ignore the wave of reactions. Every glance from his colleagues and superiors seemed to carry the weight of a silent judgment. For the first time, he felt what so many other black men had suffered because of his behavior. Shame gnawed at him. Determined to right his wrongs, Harper sought to understand the man he had humiliated. He consulted the available information and discovered that Jason Reynolds was not only a decorated Navy SEAL, but also a respected hero who had saved lives on missions, a man of exemplary discipline and honor. Harper then realized the extent of his own ignorance. He had judged a man by the color of his skin, without ever considering his background, his sacrifices, or his courage. For the first time, he understood that true respect is earned through actions, not through authority or fear. A few weeks later, Harper mustered up her courage and asked to meet Jason in person. They met in a neutral cafe, initially silent. Jason, calm and composed, listened to her speak. "Captain Reynolds. I want to apologize. What I did was unacceptable. I've learned a lesson I'll never forget." Jason nodded slowly, an expression of seriousness but understanding on his face. "The past cannot be erased, Sergeant. But how you choose to behave now can change everything. It's never too late to learn respect and dignity." Harper left that cafe a changed man. He began attending diversity and respect training, raising awareness among his colleagues, and correcting his behavior. What he had experienced as a public humiliation became the catalyst for a profound transformation. For his part, Jason returned to his life, discreet and humble, but satisfied to have transformed a moment of hatred into a public and personal lesson. The real victory had not been in punishing Harper, but in showing him that dignity and respect transcend all prejudice and authority. A few months after the incident, Harper's life had changed dramatically. He was no longer content to simply follow the rules, he actively sought to become a better officer and a better man. He participated in diversity awareness programs, led training sessions for his colleagues, and publicly shared his experience to demonstrate the consequences of racism and arrogance. One day, a situation at the police station tested his newfound convictions. A young black man had been arrested for a minor offense, but the behavior of the other officers threatened to escalate into an abuse of power. Harper intervened calmly but firmly, reminding everyone that respect and dignity must guide every action, regardless of the status or appearance of the person arrested. Meanwhile, Jason Reynolds continued his life, quiet and humble, but his relationship with Harper took an unexpected turn. The police officer, aware of his past, decided to thank him in a symbolic way. He contacted Jason to invite him to an awareness and training event for law enforcement, where Jason agreed to share his experience. On stage, in front of an audience of police officers, civilians, and young people in training, Harper took the floor. "A few months ago, I believed that my uniform and my authority gave me the right to judge and humiliate. I learned the hard way that true courage and respect cannot be bought. Today, I want to apologize publicly and commit to doing better." The room applauded at length. Jason, standing beside him, nodded his head with a slight smile. He had never sought revenge, only justice and a life lesson. This incident became an example throughout the city, a story of courage, dignity, and transformation. Harper had learned not only to respect others, but to change himself, proving that even the worst mistakes can become opportunities for redemption. For Jason, the victory lay not in humiliating the police officer, but in having sown a seed of respect and conscience where previously only ignorance and hatred had reigned. And for all those who witnessed this story, it remained etched in their minds as living proof that courage and honor can transform even the most hardened hearts.